Hi guys, this is
After all
3
this, I'm the only one left, but he's not gonna stop me.
and he's not going to stop me. Welcome back to my Evil Within 2 100% walkthrough, where we are getting all of the achievements and trophies on this game. Or I guess it's achievements or trophies, because, you know, you can't get them both on the same console. So here we are in Chapter 14 after a harrowing Chapter 13 finale. Chapter 14 is a little bit more subdued, but if you're ready to get some well-earned achievements for some of the collectibles, this is the chapter for you. So, just gonna, don't need to reload any of this stuff. Yeah, I can reload my shotty. Don't need to worry about that right now. Okay. So, we are going to pick up a couple of collectible achievements in this one. We're going to get the last of the files. And we are going to get the last of the locker keys. All in this chapter. Because the end is here. We are almost there. And my controller turned off. That was fun. Okay. Random signal blip. No need to panic. Just glad that that happened while I'm, you know, just running around collecting things and talking, instead of when I am trying to fight something and tell you guys how to do stuff that is important. Okay. So here at the beginning, there's just, you know, some stuff to pick up. Some weapon parts, some, you know, gunpowder, some herbs. And you just want to check these little nooks and crannies and things and make sure that you grab all of the stuff, because it's all useful. We're going to need all of those things. Particularly, you know, weapon parts to upgrade things. But just, you know, the more stuff that you have to work with, to craft with and whatnot, the easier it's going to be for you. Because, you know, I don't craft too many things on the fly, because I like to show you, you know, like a nice prepared route with things. And the most efficient thing to do is to make sure that you craft stuff at workbenches and all of that. But having all of those resources just means that if you need to craft things on the fly, then you can, and it's not a problem. So here's an herb, and then here is our first little collectible of this chapter. This is going to be file number 39, Theodore's Scripture number 1. Where we can kind of get a little glimpse into the mind of Father Theodore, as he has dubbed himself. So you can see we are one file away from getting those complete, which is pretty awesome. You know, something we've been working on this whole time. So we're going to come through here.
Yeah, but this time it's different. You're not getting away.
Alright, so we come over here to the right. There's going to be a mirror in there and some things, but I'm going to go in this room first. Just because I like this path for collecting. Because you can grab all this stuff before you go in there and probably save, because, you know, repeating Chapter 13, or the end of Chapter 13, is probably not something that you want to do. So I guess I should mention this for folks who are just tuning into this video and not any of the previous ones. We are on Nightmare difficulty right now, which means that we're going to pop all of the difficulty achievements, because they do stack. But, you know, you can always start on an easier difficulty if that makes you feel more comfortable. This is meant to be getting all of your achievements or trophies in the most efficient way possible. And so, to that end, we are starting on Nightmare so that we only have to do a couple of playthroughs. So, that is where we are. This is going to be Assault Rifle Pouch number 3. And so that should be your last pouch. Fully upgrade all of those things. And then we're going to head in here to the safe house. And make a save. Right. And we don't have very many weapon parts or too much gel right now. So we're going to just hang on to that for a minute and continue on. Alright, so we're headed across here. Chapter 14 is pretty short. All of the chapters from here into the end are pretty short. 13 was your last really big one. And so you can look forward to a kind of swift movement toward the end of the game here.
You will never get there. Just like the last time you wanted to save her.
Damn it. You're not gonna get to me.
Here's Father Theodore trying to get into our heads. This thing is all about, like, 90% of these games is Sebastian's own mind trying to mess him up, you know? Which is kind of cool, you know? Psychological, thrillery stuff. Alright, so here's the first big section. Big, quote unquote. It's the first section with enemies. Let's just say that. And so we have a few of these flaming guys. Okay. So we're gonna kind of move. Gonna scooch over this direction. And we're going to wait for him to come down the stairs. He's going to move over to the right. And we're going to grab him. And you need to be moving pretty good behind him, because you want to get to him before his flames turn on. Now we're going to be looking at this guy in the middle. And so there's a harbinger there, you can see. But he turned around. And that guy turned around. Which is good. And we're just going to kind of wait for his flames to go away and then get him. And then move over here. And the harbinger should, like, if you wait for that pattern there, the harbinger should be turned around and you should be all clear. There's a guy kind of praying in there, but we're not going to worry about him right now because he can't see us. And just make sure the harbinger's not around, and I'm going to head over here to the right. I'm collecting these things here because so we've got some handgun bullets. And I'm collecting that so that we don't need to collect them. We don't need to worry about them when we're coming back through here and finishing this chapter. Because it's more irritating to do that. So here's the harbinger. I'm just going to wait for him to turn around and go back the other direction, because we don't want any possibility that he's going to see us, because we don't want to mess with him. If you need another flamethrower tank, there's an opportunity, you know, right there to get one. But if you've been following this guide, and hopefully you have, you picked that up in chapter 13 and are all ready to go with that. Alright, so he's flames. Just gonna creep up. His flames have gone, and we're gonna stab him. Alright, he's the last guy on this route right here. And then we're going to head back this direction, and we're just going to check our 6, make sure that Harbinger hasn't, for some reason, spotted us. And then we're going to head around here. And now there's another guy right here. And he should, you know, turn around. And we're going to scooch up behind him and stab him. Alright. So he was the last major threat here. This guy, you just want to wait till his flames go away. And get him. Because he's praying, and he doesn't really get alerted unless you make a bunch of noise. Alright, you have some harpoons that you can grab here off of that body. And now we can kind of step lightly here. If you need a syringe, let's see, are we full on health? Yeah, we're full. But if you're not full on health, you can fill up now, or you know, if you need a syringe, there's one there for you. And we're gonna pull this switch and open the doors at the end. And some more enemies are gonna spawn here. And now, you know, you can kill these guys for some extra green gel. If you're playing on a lower difficulty, I'd recommend doing that. But we don't really need to do that right now. I also just want to point this out. There is an area down here where you can go. There's nothing really down here of note. There's just a couple of, you know, things of like gunpowder, maybe like a harpoon, and I think a freeze bolt can be down here, and then there's another syringe right there. There's enemies that you can kill through this grate, and it's gonna like shut the door behind you if you go down here. So you can go down here and you can kill a few people for some extra green gel and stuff. Yeah, and let me just demonstrate how to do that. You don't have to do this. When you're on this difficulty level, I'd actually recommend probably not doing this. They're kind of finicky to hit through the thing here. But you can get them. This one's head is being a pain because it's like right behind a bar. So I'm just gonna shoot him in the chest. Finally. Yeah, it's super annoying when their heads are not where they need to be. But that should do it. So you can definitely kill those people through this grate. And then open the door here. If you get lucky when you pull that switch, it barbecues some of them, but on this difficulty setting, I wouldn't guarantee. I wouldn't say that that's a guaranteed kill there, and then the gate opens, and so, you know, plan your moves accordingly. And then we're gonna get out of here. So there's some stuff to pick up. I'm not going to mess with the flamey guys. But what I am going to do is pick up this locker key statue. So this is your last one. Or your next to last one. Excuse me. Your next to last one. Getting ahead of myself, the last one's coming up in this chapter. Alright, so I just ran away from the flamey guys. Again, you could kill them for some extra green gel and stuff, but at this point, that's not super necessary. And now we have more dudes patrolling around. And I actually am going to go over here. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to go for 2 handgun bullets? No, it's probably not. It's probably not at all worth it to do that. So what I'm going to do is wait for these guys to move. And then I'm going to move through here in the center. And then I'm going to run past this guy up to these stairs. And it's going to shut behind me, and then we're not going to have to worry about any of those people. Ha 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 ha.
Does everyone want to control Union? It's not even real.
Union is better than reality. Union is soulless. Their minds are connected to it. To control Union is to control them. To control them is to control the world.
If you think I'm gonna help an asshole like you take over assholes like them, you're even crazier than you look.
So, it's your call whether or not it's worth it to go down there into that basement section and kill those guys behind the bars. It's up to you to decide whether or not it's worth it to you to kill that Harbinger and the extra enemies. I think there's 3 extra enemies that spawn in that last section after you flip the switch. So, it's up to you as to whether or not that's worth it. Again, if I was playing on a lower difficulty, you know, or if I was not recording this maybe and I was just, you know, free and going willy-nilly with my bullets and stuff, I might go ahead and kill those guys for the extra green gel and stuff. But it's totally not necessary, and that's a nice clean way of getting through there without expending too many resources, right? So I wanted to show you what was in that room just so that you would know what's there and what's available for you to pick up. But again, you know, it's your call as to whether it was worth the you know, 20 or 25 odd bullets that I spent to try to get that. So in any case, this is our next collectible here, and it is going to be red gel number 8. Right there on the table waiting for you. And, you know, you can investigate these piles of bones and ash, but it's not necessary. So we're going to operate this crank wheel and head forward toward glory. Okay. So, pick up those weapon parts. And then I'm going to head through this door here on the left. And grab those nails. But more importantly, here is our last file. It's going to be file number 40, Theodore Scripture 2. And we should get the Diligent Reader achievement or trophy for collecting all files. So there it is, Theodore Scripture 2. And there is our achievement, Diligent Reader, collected all files. It's super satisfying when one of those comes together, you know? Where you've had so many things to pick up over the course of a game, and you finally get to that last one, and it's like bleep bloop. Which is pretty excellent. So, here is kind of our last little opportunity. Well, no, it's not our last opportunity, but it is an opportunity to grab some upgrades and things and save if you wish. But I'm not going to worry about that right now. Instead, I am going to surge forward. And so this next little section is somewhat tricky. There are a fair number of enemies here. Okay. And you want to make sure you shoot this thing after he turns around and looks over his shoulder at this door closing behind him, because if you don't, it will waste your bullet because it will not shoot the lever. So in here we have some fun. So we have a Harbinger and we have a couple of other enemies in this first little section. So you just want to kind of wait for the Harbinger to move away a little bit, and then I'm going to come down here and bag this guy. Harbinger's moving on. So I'm going to hang out down here and I'm going to wait for the Harbinger to come back around, because I want to deal with him before I move too far over there to the left, or too far straight ahead of me here. Because if you go too far up, the door here opens, and some more enemies come out. And in fact, I actually don't want to mess with them while this guy is still in play. So just being patient, waiting and lurking, and him seeing me while I'm in cover. That's fun. Alright, so we're going to use this little piece of... That's fine, because he was going to see us anyway when we stabbed him. We're going to just use this little piece of cover here in order to get around behind this guy and do some backstabs. Just like we have done to them in the past. It's going to be the same thing, except, you know, potentially mildly scarier because there's not a lot of room. There's not a lot of room to maneuver. But okay, bud. And just, you know, as soon as you get the stab in, you know, run. See which way he's going to come around. He's going to come around this way. Because they always know exactly where you are. You know what I mean? It's a little bit irritating, but we deal with it. And they know to turn around also. But because that piece of cover is so, you know, small, a lot of times you can get him before he turns around like that. Because there's not a big, you know, run up. Come on, man. We just play Ring Around the Rosie with him. Oops, 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 oops. That was not a good... Nope. Yep. Got too close when he was in the middle of turning around. Okay. And he should be close to being dead. Like I said, the benefit of that little piece of cover here is that so here's an extra flamethrower fuel tank, just in case you needed one. And now, you don't have to kill this guy. You know, you can move up here and you can sort of kite around these guys. There's a lot of cover and a lot of, you know, kind of room to maneuver around these areas here. And so you do not have to kill him. But it's a good position right there to do that. You know, he might get a smack or two in on you. You know, you might get unlucky there, but the auto save is like right back before you come into this area, and so it's a good moment to do that. All right, so now you see that the door opens and we have a couple new friends. A couple of new friends here. Really, bud? And here's where that ambush comes in handy. Oops. Did not mean to stand up there. Are you gonna go flame me before I can get to you? Nope. Great. So yeah, you've got a lot of cover in this area, a lot of places where you can lose these guys. I should have been able to get up behind that one up there where I was, but I was a fraction of a second too late. But that's that area. And then you can come up here and you can flip the switch. Always good to just open up the area as much as possible. I'm going to come through here and go in this side of this door. And grab this guy. And the reason why I went through this side of this door is because this is the side that the crank is on. To turn off those flames. Because there was something that we want in here. It is your next handgun pouch. So this should be the last handgun pouch number 5. There's an axe if you need another one. Here's a different area in there with a flamey guy, so just be careful of him. But this door leads back out to oops, I did not mean to kick that open. Leads it back out to the original area here. So we could have come in this way, but the flames, they turn on and off, so you can get through there. It's not like impossible, but you kind of have to time your run through, and since the crank to turn the flames off is on this side, it just makes sense, to me anyway, to go through that other side. And so that's what we did. Alright, I'm going to pick up gel from this guy. And we just have a little bit farther here to go. And a couple of enemies to defeat. So I'm just gonna scooch past those dudes. And turn off the gas there. And then I'm gonna suss out the situation with this guy. Alright, so he's flames. And now he's off. Could have gotten him there, but we didn't. Okay. We can get him now. Alright, now he's the last guy that you really need to worry about. So, again, there's a couple of guys back there. You could get them. I find that particular section there a little bit finicky in terms of getting one of those guys without the other one seeing you. And, you know, it's not a whole lot of green gel and stuff over there anyway. I think there is a med kit if you want one of those. But if you see right now, we have 57 herbs with which to make a med kit. And so, you know, if you really, really want one, if you kill those two guys and move over to the right, I believe there is one there. But not worth it in my opinion. So, we have come to the next section here. And we want to turn our light on to see our last statue. And this is the last one. I said the last one before by mistake and quickly corrected myself. This is the last one. So right up there to the left of that switch, and you need to turn on your light to be able to see it really well, because otherwise it's just kind of dark. But we're going to pick that up, and that is our last locker key, y'all. Okay, now some prep work. I want to reload this because what I'm going to do here, so, okay, some explanation. Again, if you are on a lower difficulty setting, kill these things, kill to your heart's content, collect the green gel, upgrade all your stuff, do all of that. But for nightmare difficulty, these things can take quite a lot of bullets, because you're going to have 3 of the two-headed dog creatures, and they can take some firepower to be able to take down. And now we do have some upgrades on our shotgun that could probably, you know, be fine. We have plenty of ammunition and stuff. We're fairly stocked up at this point. Just to kind of see where we're at, you know. We could have some more handgun bullets, but most of those got shot because of the stupid people in that behind the bars that I murdered, that you may or may not mess with. But other than that, you know, we're fairly good on things, which is good, you know. And so, if you're low on things, if you need an extra shock bolt, because that's a shock bolt there, if you need some more, you know, weapon parts or gunpowder, or I believe that's shotgun shells back there, but it could also just be handgun bullets. If you really feel like you need those items, you could kill these dogs, collect their gel, and grab all of those items. But in my mind, it expends more ammunition than it saves, or it expends more ammunition than you recover with all of the stuff back there. And so what I am going to do is I'm going to turn this crank, put down a smoke bolt, wait until the stairs are revealed, and then move on. And hopefully that is going to work without complication. Because, you know, things always go differently than you think they're going to. So, in my classic mode playthrough, this works just fine. And so, it should work just fine right here. And so we're gonna do that. So here we go. I'm gonna charge up the smoke bolt, and as soon as this guy, you know, comes out, I'm gonna put it down. It's gonna go off. I'm gonna get another one charged up just in case. We need another one. And we do. Gonna restock here. We'll put another one down. And this guy died because these smoke bolts are the bomb. Oh, and now the stairs are available. But you know what? These smoke bolts and poison on them are so good. That it killed those enemies. So I am going to collect the stuff. Handgun bullets is what those were. Not shotgun shells. Alright, so I got clipped a little bit. But, there you go. Kill the dogs with the smoke bolts. I don't think I had mine fully upgraded in my practice run, and so I did not know that that was going to kill those dogs so handily, but it did. You learn new things every moment. But, if you do not have fully upgraded smoke bolts, if you haven't been, you know, doing everything that I've been doing, you know, if you haven't been following this thing the whole way, if you don't have those full upgrades on those, then it is, you could use shock bolts there. You could hit them with the shotgun. The shotgun's really effective against those dogs. But I would recommend, you know, just putting the smoke down and then waiting for the gate to open. And you saw, it was probably about 3 before the door opened up. And so you can just keep putting them down and then run through at the end. You could see, like, there was not very much stuff to pick up from behind there. And so, you know, no big loss if you didn't end up killing those enemies and grabbing the stuff that was back there. So now we have a few more weapon parts, and I believe I'm gonna grab that. Yeah, I'm gonna upgrade the shoddy. Cause the shoddy's just good. Okay. And then I'm going to do a little bit of crafting here. So I'm definitely going to craft some more smoke bolts, because those, to replace the ones that we used, I am going to get myself at half of my handgun bullet status here. Because I think, you know, there might be some things to pick up in here, and so I didn't want to fully craft things until I figured this out. But right now we're gonna head in and open our last lockers. So with the upgrades, you know, upgrade what you want. Upgrade what you want. I think the shotgun the handgun early on and then the shotgun later on are your best bets, you know? All right, see, there's some shotgun ammo. Take that. Do we need this? No. Here's the red gel that we found earlier on, but I kind of left it there just in case you hadn't gotten it yet. But you will now. So you're going to open all the lockers, and in the lockers, one of them is going to have that red gel in it. One of them is going to have a high-grade weapon parts in it. And so definitely at this point, you will have gotten those gels and parts. So, but we're going to open these last two. This one is a bunch of weapon parts, so that's sweet. And this one is a bunch of green gel, which is very nice. And here is our achievement. Locksmith. Opened all lockers. Also very nice. And so, you know, if you have extra stuff in here, I've picked up most of the things out of these lockers. But, you know, and I might as well grab this too. I don't know as there's another one anywhere soon. And we've got well, it is a triple boss fight technically, but it's really a double boss fight. Because the first part of it is not really anything more than a quick time event. So we're going to go ahead and pick that up. And we're going to pick up that red gel. And so that should be the 9th red gel that you've picked up. And if you had the weapon part as your last one, which, you know, I've already picked it up, but if yours was in one of these last lockers, that would have been high-grade weapon parts number 11 for you. So we will grab the final high-grade weapon parts, number 12, and the final red gel, number 10, in the upcoming chapters. But that's that. So now, whoops, I'm going to go back into this thing. So you should be able to do a good many upgrades at this point, because one of the last things, if not the last thing that I always get from those lockers, I'm not sure if it's 1000% set, but I'm pretty sure it's the last thing that I've always gotten, is that 30,000, you know, green gel. And so at this point, you should be able to upgrade some more of your stuff if you want to. So that's sneak kills, but I'm actually going to upgrade some health here. And now these are really good skills here. I'm actually not going to pick these up, the Defiance 1 and Defiance 2. I'm not going to pick those up right now because I don't want that to be the reason why I survived something that you wouldn't have survived. And so I'm not going to pick that up just for the purposes of guide making. But if I was playing this game and not making a guide, I would definitely pick those up, because those can be super helpful, can get you through some tight spots and make it so that you don't have to go back and replay things that you might otherwise have had to. So I am going to grab Vitality. And might not get that one. Gonna get some extra stamina. Gonna grab some stamina recovery speed. Okay, I'm also not gonna pick up this reflexes, because again, I wanna show you gameplay that is polished and whatnot, and so, or as much as it can be with Dormouse here, but that is a really good upgrade to get, because it will save your butt on occasion when your butt needs saving. So let's see. Stamina recovery speed increased again. Yeah, I think I will grab that one. It's quite expensive, but as I said, you should have enough to grab many of these at this point. And then recovering more health when using health items. Having quick recovery. Alright. These are to do more damage with melee, which you probably aren't doing in this playthrough if you're on Nightmare, but, you know, if for some reason you want that, that's fine. Bottles to pull you free of grab attacks is actually quite good. This Predator skill is really good, and in fact, that might be what I use the rest of that gel for. Or the rest of my green gel, rather. And a red gel. Second chance is a really good one as well. So, again, like these are all things that will help you to not die and to just be able to continue moving forward. So the second chance, the reflexes to evade attacks, and the defiance. Like, all of those skills are basically built to keep you alive during difficult sections, where you might otherwise not make it and have to reload and have to play a section over again. For the purposes of guide making, I'm not going to grab those right now. I mean, we're going to have to grab them at the end anyway, because, you know, on the second playthrough, because you have to fully upgrade all your skills. That's an achievement. But for the purposes of making this guide to get you through Nightmare difficulty, I'm not going to do that, because it's, it just sort of takes a little bit away from the guide making aspect of it. You know, if I'm just making it through because of skills that I've picked up, you might not have those skills, and then that doesn't help you. So that's the thought there. So I'm going to use a red gel here. I'm going to pick up Predator, because that could potentially be helpful for us in the later chapters here. And that just helps you just sort of close in on enemies and kill them from kind of a farther distance. So some of these sections where we're hiding around corners and there's an enemy kind of farther up and we have to walk up to it, and it's like, oh, I hope that his flames don't come on before I get there. You know, this is a way to, that skill is a way to make sure that you do make it there and take him out. So that's our gel used. Those are the upgrades that I picked. You can upgrade how you so please. We are going to have to be getting all of the upgrades anyway for achievements and trophies, but, you know, just so that you know what I picked up. So I probably want to save up for this firepower on my shotgun. And so I'm gonna kind of leave the weapon parts for now. Gonna go in here to crafting. Do I think I need more handgun bullets? Or shotgun shells? It's debatable. Probably not going to be using the handgun on these dudes. I might be using some sniper though. Nah, you know what? Let's make handgun bullets. We'll have 40. Okay. Stock up as you see fit. Save your game. It's just nice to have the manual just in case something screws up. and then we're gonna head on. Once again, upgrade how you see fit.
I gave you the chance to help me. Because of your refusal, I have no choice. I will dismantle this world. I will find your wife, and I will murder her in front of your daughter, who will suffer dearly at my hands as I use her power.
Not if I kill you first.
What makes you think this time will be any different?
I'll keep coming back until one of us is dead.
Come to me then. Let the carnage begin.
It's like, does this guy just want to die? I mean, you don't go to person on like that. I'm gonna kill your wife in front of your daughter, and then I'm going to, you know, squeeze her like a lemon and take her power. And come on, dude. Like, you just don't do that. You just don't do that. Stupidity. Although, you know, STEM and being in here, it does make a person go a little bit nuts, so we'll give him that. We'll give Theodore that. But, like, that's just, in addition to being just a dick move, it's stupid. It's a stupid move. Because any parent or, you know, someone who's in here for the purposes of getting their family out, like, saying that kind of stuff is just gonna make them, you know, kill you even better. Alright. Anyway, you want to make sure that you come down this ladder, because there is a residual memory down here. It should be a residual memory at number 20.
You found her. Excellent. You are special. You've always been special. That is why I brought you here. Why I allow you to create your own space. Prove your fealty to me. Bring me the core. Of course I do. You are an artist, Stefano. I respect that. But I need the girl first.
Okay, so residual memory, 20. And then here's a health syringe. We don't need it, but it's there if you do. I am going to switch to my sniper rifle, because I'm going to use that for a little bit during this boss fight coming up. So I just want to be prepared for that. And also going to check my bolts and put on the shock bolts. And then switch back to sniper. Alright, so just making sure I know my setup here. And I'm fully reloaded and everything. Okay. Good deal. So we're going into quote-unquote triple boss fight right now. The first one, it's going to be kind of a greatest hits from the Evil Within 1. The first one is a glorified quicktime sequence. The second one is the hard one. And then the third one is the scary one, in which we're going to get an achievement. So let's go.
If it's a taste of despair you wish, a taste of despair you shall receive.
You did this to me, Dad. You didn't save me.
It's okay, sweetie. I'm gonna make it right again. I love you so much, Lily. I always have. And I always will. And I'm gonna save you this time. I promise.
I see you've overcome some of your guilt and pain. But the depth of your past traumas is vast. I know everything about you. I know what lies beneath. You have a deep well of fear from which to draw. You've seen many horrors, and they still haunt your memories. Remember where this all began. Remember Beacon. Yes, you remember it all.
So we start off running. This is the glorified QuickTime event. So we're going to run through here, and we're going to keep running forward, and all you got to do is push forward and not run into all of the things on the sides.
What? Enough of this shit!
Sebastian Castellanos has cutscene power. Oh man, it's cool. Like I like that they did it like this, because you know this could have been a difficult thing, kind of running from this guy through these hallways, and you know, or trying to shoot him in this tiny space, but instead, they made this one kind of a gimme. And it just shows how far Sebastian's come, right? Like, these things do not scare him anymore. You know, he's seen too much. He has too much at stake. He's like, I've been through this. He knows that this is a manipulation, you know. And so, you know, you get a freebie. You get a freebie on this one. And there is a lot of blood there. And here's the touch that I really like. How much blood is on his face versus how much blood is on his clothes. Make a note of that. Like, just check that out. Because it's fun. Alright, and now we have the hard one. And this is our friends. Probably a toss-up for my favorite bosses from the last game, the Keepers. Alright, so we're going to turn, and we're going to run this way, because if you run straight there, he can get you. And I'm going to run around here, and I'm going to grab these items. Okay, there's a med kit, some bullets, etc., etc. Oh, hi. Dormouse runs around collecting things instead of killing the boss, because that's just who she is. Okay, we're pretty good on stuff at the moment. Let's see if we can get him into a good position. Where you at, bud? Oh, you were not supposed to come around that way. That was not what you were supposed to do, my friend. Where are you? Where are you? There you are. I'm trying to get him to a spot where he's like, you know, not incredibly close to me, but that's alright. Alright. Alright, so 4 of those sniper shots were good. And now we're going to put on shock bolts. Okay, so there's one keeper. And we're going to try to get them bunched up there and then use this menu to change these bolts. Because it will automatically load it for you. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Oh, yes it was. Okay. And that helps immensely. It helps immensely. When you're trying to do this. Alright. One of them is down. Second one is down. Alright, so that was the keepers. I love the keepers. The keepers are... It's a toss-up between them and this next boss as to which were my favorites from the first game. Because Lara she is just so scary. She's so scary. She is so scary and I love her so much. So we got done with the keepers. That was the strategy. I just want to take a minute to pause here and talk about that because it all happened all at once and it's super hard to talk about it as it's happening. So, with the first guy, you know, I tried to run around, grab some of the stuff in the area first, and then take him out with our sniper rifle. I do have the upgrade that allows me to slow down time and the bullet cascade, so it didn't take very many shots to take him down. If you do not have those upgrades, it will probably take a few more shots to take him down. But also note that the sniper rifle, my sniper rifle is almost not upgraded at all. You saw the upgrades that I put on it earlier. I put the 1 for the firepower and that was it. And so it does not take a whole lot to take them down, even on nightmare difficulty, with the sniper. When the 2 of them were in play, I just sort of ran around trying to get them both in the same area. They lined up for me pretty well. And then you use sort of alternating shock bolts and explosive bolts and just keep hitting them and use this menu to change your bolts because it will load one for you and it will save you a lot of time. You know, you saw that I was able to just sort of pummel them one after the other. That's exactly what you want to do. When one of them dies, finish the other one off, whatever way you want to. I chose to save my bolts because those are more expensive to me, and so I used my sniper to get the last shot on the guy. So that was the strategy there. It is a solid one, I do believe. And so even if you have those upgrades, which was the whole purpose of getting them, you know, was for moments like that, for these boss fights. Because most of the irregular enemies we go through and we sneak kill and stuff. But that was the whole purpose of having them. But if you don't have them, that is okay. You can still use that same strategy. It's just going to take you a little bit more ammunition. That's all. Okay. So for Lara, we have an achievement. that we need to get called I'll Take You Down Myself. Brought your own equipment to the barbecue this time, and we are going to do that by using this flamethrower that we crafted from parts from the previous episodes. So once again, if you're just joining now, there were a couple of harbingers in this last chapter, so you could have gotten your 2 flamethrower tanks and crafted it in this chapter if you needed to. So, you know, you saw us pick up the one. You could have gotten the other guy in that first area that we ran past. And so if you needed to do that, you could. But if you were following the guide, you would have already created this flamethrower and like fixed the broken one from the guy from chapter 11. And this is why. So we have a flamethrower now, and we are going to use that to take out Laura. There's all kinds of other things that you can do. You can see a different strategy for this fight in my classic mode playthrough, where I use the stuff that's available to you, the switches and things, to burn her. So that is possible. You don't have to do it this way if you don't want to get this achievement, but if you want to get this achievement, I'll Take You Down Myself, you need to kill her with the flamethrower. So that is what we are going to do.
Burned you once.
Alright, so we're going to put on the flamethrower, and we're going to wait. And we're going to burn her. And, I mean, you just want to pepper it a little bit. Because you don't want to be burning her while she's already burning, because that's sort of... wastes your flames, and we do not want to waste our flames, and we also don't want to stand in the flames. Come on now, Dormouse. Alright. And so now if you run out of flames, we want to craft more. Let's go with 20. That might be good. Ooh, 20 was not good. Just trying to conserve. Let's go with, let's try. Oh my goodness. Girl, just die. Please. There we go. And so she finally did her like, oh my god, it's terrible scream and died.
What are you?
What else have you got?
There's our achievement.
Myra?
She must stay safe. I will protect Lily from anyone who wants to take her.
You did it. Theodore is dead. Let's go home. No!
The power of the core is mine.
Lily is safe now.
Where is she? Let's get her and get out of here. Myra! Myra?
Alrighty. So that was that. And so I believe that feathering that flamethrower helps you conserve some of the flamethrower ammunition. I'm certain someone will correct me if I'm wrong. But if my count was right, on Nightmare difficulty, on this difficulty, it took about 2 full flamethrower tanks of the 99 fuel to take her down. Because I believe that I crafted 2 30s and 1 20. So it was about 2 full tanks to get her to give us the death scream just there. And so that's about how much it'll take. It will take less if you're on a lower difficulty. I think it only takes 1 full tank on casual. It might only take 1 full tank and maybe a little bit more on normal and hard, or on normal, rather. And so that's about what it is. You don't have any upgrades that you're going to make for the flamethrower, so that's just going to be what it's going to be. It's going to take about 2 full tanks. You're going to need to craft ammunition as you go along. And you know, she's scary because, man, she can one-hit kill you. And, you know, you can get caught in some of the fire like I did, if she's a little bit too close to you and whatnot. And it's not a huge area either that you're running around in. And she's teleporting all around and, you know, so it's not a hard fight, but it is kind of a scary fight because you know how dangerous she is, especially if you played the first game. You know how dangerous she is. She can just murder you. And, you know, she's flashing all around like Nightcrawler. And, you know, so it's scary. But you just keep putting the flames on her. I believe feathering it helps rather than just sort of going full force, you know, flame, just like jetting it all into her at once, because I think that there might be some invincibility when she's, you know, in her animation of, oh my god, I'm burning. Again, I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong about that, and I may be. And if I am, then, because sitting there and just pumping it into her while she's just sitting there in that animation would be way less frightening, because it would take many fewer times of you sort of running away from her and kind of getting her as she's teleporting near you. But that is the strategy for that. And if you do that with that particular boss, you will get the I'll Take You Down Myself achievement or trophy. And now we're going to head on to the end of this chapter, y'all. And into the beginning of the next one.
There's almost nothing left of this place. What are you trying to do, Myra?
All right. And so there is our achievement. Overcome the past. Your trauma is no more, for getting through the end of chapter 14 and into the beginning of 15. And so that is it for this chapter. Again, it's not particularly long. It's not particularly difficult. The boss fights there at the end, they can be. But if you have a solid strategy, if you have some upgrades, they're not going to be too terrible for you to take down. If you have that flamethrower, you know, you can not only make your life a little bit easier for that last fight, but you also get an achievement for your trouble. So, not too bad. And we are rapidly coming toward the end of the game. So we only have 3 chapters left, folks. We've got, you know, several more achievements that we're going to be getting here toward the end of the game. And all of the chapters are fairly short, so I hope that this was helpful for you. In this one, you should have gotten, if you've been following the guide, you should have gotten Diligent Reader for collecting all files. You should have gotten Locksmith for opening all lockers. You should have gotten I'll Take You Down Myself for killing Laura with the flamethrower. And you should have gotten Overcome the Past for completing the chapter. And so, hopefully all of those things worked out for you as they did for me. And I hope that it was helpful. I hope that the strategies helped you out if you needed them. And I will see you in the next chapter, chapter 15. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you there.